So let's talk Mass Effect. Welcome back to LTR Gaming. I'm Troy. So we got Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, that's going to be coming out very soon. And I'm very happy that it's coming out. But I want to share my honest opinion and thoughts on it. And I'm a long-time Mass Effect fan of the series. Played every single one, from the multiplayer to the single-player campaign of every game. I completed every game, all of the DLC. So I just want to give you a bit of my background, where I'm coming from, because I'm not someone that hasn't played the game, someone that's just now getting into the game, into the series in 2021, or have no prior experience in this franchise. In Mass Effect Andromeda, I wasn't really pleased with it. I thought that, the BioWare, they didn't really put their best foot forward with that particular game. I thought that it was half done. I thought that there was a lot of potential there for that game to be great. I thought that visually the game was a very pleasing, aesthetically looking game. I thought the combat was great, but I thought the execution was very poor. And I'm not sure if BioWare had really any interest in really making that game, even though they still made it. And it sold. But it just really didn't appease to the people that were real hardcore Mass Effect fans and just knew that the prior 3 games, Mass Effect Andromeda, did not live up to it. Now, how could it? Right? If you're coming from Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, it was a hell of a journey. It was a hell of a trilogy. It was a hell of a story. It was back-to-back-to-back games that coincided with each other. There was no break, disconnect, alternative stories told in those 3 games. They all coincide with each other. You got new teammates, new squads, met new friends, new enemies, new adversaries, new challenges that you met along the way. So, Mass Effect Legendary Edition isn't the first time the trilogy is actually being put together. It was put together on the PS3 back in December 4th, 2012. That was the first time this series was put together as a trilogy. So I don't want people to get confused with what we're getting with Mass Effect the Legendary Edition and what we already got with Mass Effect the Trilogy. The trilogy was just accumulation of the 3 games together on one platform. And I still actually have that trilogy for the PS3. And of course, I still have my PS3 boxed up. And I haven't pulled it out in a while. So I haven't even played the trilogy in some time. But I'm looking at the hype, and I'm looking at what was revealed. And I'm looking at the screenshots of what they allegedly will be, touching up, putting a little bit more red paint on. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But I personally feel that that's not enough that BioWare should be doing to gain the faith of the Mass Effect loyalists and followers like myself going forward, due to what they left us with in regard to Mass Effect Andromeda. See, I hate to bring up Capcom and Resident Evil, but they did it right with the Resident Evil remakes, right? They didn't just reskin, put a little paint, make the edges look a little sharper. No. They did a complete reimagination of their classic franchise games. Mechanically, from the ground up, they revolutionized those old tank-driven, mechanical controlled games and brought them into the modern era of gaming. And they look fantastic on top of it. And they benefited from the new hardware and technology that we take for granted in a lot of instances in the modern day and time. See a lot of you younger gamers who haven't played the original Resident Evil games for the original PlayStation. It's hell to play those games now on the original console. But when we were playing them when they originally came out, that's all we knew. So we had to learn and figure out, hey, how to just play them as they are. Trying to play them now, 20 years later, at my age, it's frustrating and it's damn near impossible. I just don't have the dexterity and the patience. My patience alone just won't allow me to go back and play those type of games. But Capcom got it right. They say, you know what, if we're going to remake this classic, if we're going to bring this classic back to light and give our new generation of players who haven't experienced these classic games, we're not just going to put paint on it. We're going to give them a new generational experience so that they can create their own memories on this particular franchise. So I feel that BioWare is obligated, where they should have created a complete reimagination and reimagining of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Now you might say, well, that's a lot to do. That's a lot to do, Troy. That's going to take years to do. Well, you had years to add DLC to Mass Effect Andromeda. You didn't add anything to that. You didn't fix a lot of the issues or ills that was wrong with that game. You just put that game out and knew that it had issues and knew that it didn't satisfy the appetite of gamers like myself. And you just let it be. And regardless of the backlash that it got, you just said, hey, you know what? It is what it is. And then you put out this snippet this year that, hey, we're working on a new Mass Effect 4. We're going from 3 to 4. Andromeda didn't happen. Let's just act like that didn't happen. We're going from 3 to 4. Remember 3? Well, we're going to start from 3 now and go to 4. Well, that's what you should have did in the beginning, but that's for a whole different story. You shouldn't even made Andromeda if you thought that you should have even started from 4 in the first place. But what we're getting with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, from what I've seen, we're getting minor tweaks and upgrades. They're going to be modernizing the mechanics of the controls of Mass Effect 1, which is definitely needed. It's definitely needed. There's a definitely distinction between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2, like, as far as the controls are concerned. And I'm cool with that. You're going to be changing the outfits and, changing the spectrum of the colors and toning things down and amping things up in certain aspects and dynamics of the game. Okay, that's cool. You're going to be taking some butt photos and animations out because in some instances the camera did fixate in some areas, if you played the Mass Effect games, on some female characters and teammates, lower derriere areas, and I don't see what the issue is with it. Why would you need to remove it? But then again, this is the 2021 climate. Everybody feelings is hurt for everything. You can't please everybody, but everybody has an issue with everything. So therefore, since everybody has an issue with everything, you gotta try to appease everybody. Doesn't make sense, but this is where we at. So there's backlash because you're removing the ass videos and the ass shots from the game. Now, I'm excited to play the Legendary Edition again on the PS5 or the Xbox Series X, both which I have. More than likely, I'm going to get it for the PS5, though. But I wanted a remaster to be a reimagining of the trilogy, right? I want it to be a complete different retake on what I played over 10 years ago, over a decade ago. For you new generation guys who will just be getting into this game for the first time, you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a great experience because it's a great story that stretches across 3 games that are great. The Loyalist Quest, you're going to build a rapport with some great aliens. This is great story writing at its finest. Like, this is where BioWare used to be BioWare. You used to be able to depend on their stories to be stories that are worth actually wanting to experience. Real story-driven games with real heavily action-paced components to it. This is it. They lost their way, of course, along the way. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get it back in Mass Effect 4. That's to be seen. But again, Mass Effect 4, we don't even know when that's coming out. That could be coming out 10 years from now. We haven't seen any screenshots. We haven't been given any release dates. We've just been given a trailer where we saw some familiar faces in some familiar places, holding some items that we know are reminiscent to our fearless leader, Commander Shepard, hinting towards him possibly may, or she, depending on who you play with, maybe still be alive in Mass Effect 4, who knows? I'm assuming they're going to have to blow that game out. You're going to have to blow Mass Effect 4 out. You're going to have space exploration that you have never seen to a degree that you have never seen, because it's 2021. So this game coming out is more than likely going to be 2024, maybe 2025. This game isn't coming out anytime soon, so you're going to have to be on some No Man's Sky. Maybe not on that, maybe not on that level, but you're going to have to be able to give the player the ability to go to planets whenever they want, be able to transition from atmosphere to outer space, from outer space to atmosphere on planets. You're going to have to blow Mass Effect 4 out. You can't just make a linear game. So I'm just saying, like, with this Legendary Edition, being that we're not getting Mass Effect 4 anytime soon, they could have put a team to the side where they're like, yo, we're going to be creating a reimagining of Mass Effect, all 3 games in this Legendary Edition. We're not just going to put paint, and we're going to give players something to really play, something to really experience in the next 3 to 4 years to hold them over until Mass Effect 4 comes out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I would have wanted from BioWare, because at the end of the day, they're not as hot as they used to be. I don't know if you guys noticed, a lot of their games have been failing. A lot of their credibility and want for their titles is just not there anymore. The interest for older franchises, yeah, it's still there, but people don't really trust that they can deliver that they used to. I don't know if they can deliver like they used to at this point in time. But you could have given us something to really carry us and hold us over until Mass Effect 4 came out in good faith. Like, yo, look, we gave y'all a reimagining of the last 3 great Mass Effect games. Could y'all at least give us good faith and give us a chance to get back in your good graces and give us an opportunity with Mass Effect 4, and we'll give you guys something great to look forward to. That's all I'm saying. I'm still getting Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, regardless. It's something I'm going to get just to experience all of those memories again and those experiences again. But I just don't think this is just enough, and I don't think we should just be accepting of anything from companies that have a lot to prove in the realm of gaming when it comes to us spending our dollars with them. I don't care how long it takes to develop a game. I don't care if the dev cycles, if it's long and it's a very tedious job to do, and you need a lot of people, you got to work 10 hours a day. That's not my problem. I got to work 10 hours a day at my job to make ends meet. Like, it doesn't really, that's another thing about the gaming industry. Like, we gotta cry, we gotta be sympathetic, we gotta be understanding when it comes to these workers who work and create and develop these games, because they work hard every day, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. The everyday person does the same shit. They just don't create games, but they don't get the sympathy that these developers get. They don't get the bonuses and the accolades that these developers get. A job is a job at the end of the day. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't want to hear, well, it's long, it's hard on the developers. Look, man, you got into this industry. You know what you got into. All I'm saying is put out a product that is consumer ready, that's going to appease the people that need to be appeased, and that's the hardcore fans and people who know what this series is worth, and not just trying to appease to a crowd that's just looking to play the game casually and move on, and don't make the game with a bunch of microtransactions, meaning Mass Effect 4. Just put out a good Mass Effect game. So if you're hype for Mass Effect Legendary Edition, cool. I'm not knocking you. Looks like it's going to be decent. I still need to see more, but I'm not mad at you if you are. Just want to share my honest opinion about this next Mass Effect trilogy that they got coming out. Let's see how it works out. We see what they did on the PS3. It wasn't really much of a remaster. It was just the 3 games brought together. This is clearly an upgrade of those 3 games. So let's see if it's really an upgrade. I'm Troy. This is LTR Gaming. Until next time. Peace.